Yo, what up, studs, studettes? What's going on in the hood? Holy shamoly, the Fed came in on the hot spot today. We were in, just a little epic grinder, a little bit up, a little bit down, which is normal on the Fed days. And then old Jerome came in. And you know what? Usually we have like a little bit more doo-doo-doos, a little bit more shakeout. From minute one, it just popped up and the market looked like, I guess the market's looking for a reason to go. And then we did pull back and retest the breakout spot and then off to the races. Things were going. It was across the board, risk assets. If you look at yesterday's video, all the stocks, Bitcoin, Ethereum, we were looking at those stocks and holy shit, like everything just took off. You could see here, right, old Beto. This had an end of day break at 29.50, right around at 31, big 5% move. I'm in this one for a little bit of a swing trader. It scared me for a second, but there was some fake news that came out in the midday. This was up 5%. Right now it's up 9% or 10%. Ethereum's up to 3,500, so this is probably gap up into a little bit of support. So it was across the board. Guys, we saw the IWM with a power move, 2.5%. Will we finally break out? This is the end-all question that, we've been going over since the beginning of time. Who knows, right? We've been waiting for it, but hey. So moral of the story for the next couple days, we may see a little bit, if we see a gap up, well, we may see a little bit of sell-off after that because the market has been gapping up and down every single day, sucking up a lot of the range, and then it pulls the other way or chops, and then it goes again. This year in 2024, I've seen more overnight action, for a bull market than I ever have. Meaning we get gaps all the time in bear markets, COVID crashes, this kind of thing. But we do not, get this kind of gap up, gap down like every day in a bull market. You get gap ups, a little small gap up every day as you grind higher. But we've been moving all over the place. So let's get into the watch list. I think all systems is a go. If the market shows any weakness tomorrow at the open, I think we want to try to buy it up. I think we want to try to buy that bad boy up. And, if we get if we get a big gap up, then we may have to just kind of sit out the open and let things pull, let things set up. And let's see if there's any, spillover in this IWM. Would love to see this breakout, but you know what? I'd love to have hair too, right? I'd love to have more hair on my head than my back and my butt, but here we are, living the life that we're dealt with, right? And so we just got to be a little bit careful tomorrow. I suspect we're going to gap up, and then we'll just have to play accordingly. Don't chase anything off at the open. And, dude, it's going to get frothy. Look at this freaking MU, man. This is a 1 billion share float stock, and it's monster cock move, right? Like, holy shamoly, the mother market's flashing her lady parts. When you see something like this, like hot damn, 2 beers in a bucket. So this could, this is going to probably bounce the semiconductor. So, probably favorite for tomorrow. I didn't see a setup in AMD today, but we got a hammer candle at the 50-day moving average. Let's see. There's a spot here at 83 that I think triggers it, and probably for a swing trade. And it's going to be, man, it's going to be hotter than a goose's caboose if it goes. So let's get up in that one. Obviously, we got all these Mara and CLSK finally released. CLSK infinitely has a better look than Mara. Mara, as you can see, this was under its MAs, but because how tight it was, today's move, it just took it basically into breakout territory. The old highs up here, like we could see this thing headed into it tomorrow. And then, you can see here, like we're kind of, if we break that 23, we're taking out like kind of multi-year ranges. This is your weekly chart right here. So that 24 is about a multi-year range, going back to 2021 in the good old days, right? When all the line drawers were making money, when you were probably so frustrated with the markets because right? Johnny Doolittle was just probably just throwing some shit at a wall in some small cap Discord room, making big bucks, posting about his hoes and his Lambos. But, now things have changed a little bit, so we got to be a little bit more mindful, of course. But we've got action in all of this kind of stuff, and we want to just keep this party going. So this is looking good, probably top of the list after AMD tomorrow. I'm loving it. Coin, obviously, fuck. I had so much of this shit at the open, and, I thought I scaled out pretty good. We took an opening range breakout. I was piecing out of this thing. I got a last bid at 240, but I didn't re-enter, and that was my mistake. I need to re-hit this thing at the VWAP, and hot damn, right? So this has got a kind of a breakout setting up here. These are the ones that I'm really interested in. Let's see if this finally, right, comes to fruition. All right, let's see if this thing finally comes to fruition, which is, you've got yourself now all a firm here, and UPST have been kind of perking their pickles a little bit. And so you've got these two. This one looks better than a firm because of the location. But you had 11% move into the close. Like, that's some good shit right there. Like, we could get something going, on these. Like, if these things can go, that and CVNA can go, that's when the market is like really, that's when the market is hot. So love the UPST. VKTX, this is, I got a good look. This is, right, a nice breakout. Dude, they had a secondary at 85. It's digested that bad boy. And now you're starting to come back through. You've rounded out, and now, like, dude, it's, you got a good look to it. 90 million share float. Like, this is where we want to be on this bad boy. This is a good look. Dude, CVNA was so hot today. It's a little bit of a messy name. Like, it's got wicks and dicks all over the place, and it'll hit you right in the face if you guys don't keep your eyes open. But, big hairy Indian butt is that, man, when it goes, like, you get these, like, monster cock candles. That's all you can ask for, right? Like, when you get candles like that, that's some good stuff right there. So, let's add that to the list. I want you to add in W here. I want to add a couple of these specky names in case the IWM does go. This closed up 9%, like UPST, right? 10%, a firm 10%. That's where we want to go. Like, we want to see some of these things really do the hoot and nanny. I think that's a good spot right there, man. Hood, this is another one, man. This has got a big location here on the daily that goes back a long period of time. So you broke out, you pulled back into a zone of love. You had a big reversal candle today. Dude, that's looking nice. A lift. We had this on yesterday's watch list. I was telling you guys, I think it's probably a swing around here. It's in breakout territory now. Dude, this is like, any dip on that, we want a piece of this. Donkey Kong, this was from yesterday's watch list too. This triggered for a swing today. I think if it retests, it's still viable. Not necessarily the best day trader, but more of a swing setup and a hot swing setup. Dash finally broke through here, 135. You got a nice flag pattern over here. Big push into the close. Dude, look at, the options on this thing were going nuts too. Like, that, that's when you have like these kind of compression and, the volatility dies, and when you finally break through, like, dude, these calls and stuff will go fucking nuts. Like, this thing is up, 1,000%. That's where you really want to go with this thing. These are the kind of names that can get you what you need. I keep an eye. I got this ETHE for a swing, but this Beto, I keep an eye on this to get a proxy for Mara, CLSK. Kava, this was on yesterday's watch list. I still think it's valid. We want to hit all dips on this bad boy. Red to green. We took it on red to green at the open today. Same deal, man. If it opens up weak, let's go red to green. Dell, breakout, pullback. He's breaking his trend line here, two and multiple levels here. Look at this thing right here, man. This thing is clean. It's crisp. It's tight. You've got yourself a good look on this. And look, with MU busting loose, I want to get some Taiwan Semiconductor because it's close to support. If MU's going nuts and this doesn't gap up too much, then, we've got room all the way up to here. Now, whether it gets there, probably not. But I think, you kind of back and fill this area, probably gets up to maybe 150 or so. And then NVIDIA's looking like, with the MU earnings, this could start to go. I won't trade NVIDIA. I've been watching this NVDL instead because NVIDIA gets so damn pricey, but even the options are pricey. Gold from yesterday's watch list. We were talking about this. You get some of these kind of 200, maybe 205 calls. You're going to be sitting in pretty. Gold doesn't move around much, but when it comes out of these like tight coil patterns, all of a sudden the options go nuts on them. That's, the boring names, when they can finally move as a little bit of an outlier, you can start to get triple, quadruple baggers on these things. Like, look at this thing. This thing was at 50, 60 cents, right? And then you run up into the 270. I mean, for really, what, a 1% move in gold? Like, that's awesome, right? That's where we want to be on this. And at the opening, man, these things were 40 cents. So, good stuff on gold. I think, there's only a couple of them that have any liquidity. So, I usually will search for the strike price that's got at least some juice on. And you can see there's a couple out here, the 202s, the 200. So there were a couple that had some liquidity. I suspect, look at the tightness of range. Guys, this is the simplest pattern you can do, by the way, right? The compression of range is everything. Like when you get this tightness, even if it's something that's boring like gold or Dell computers or whatever, like it can be nice. Like you can really get some good stuff going. So guys, there's a lot of good stuff happening here. I'd add BZ to the watch list if China stocks go. You got a breakout on earnings, resting at the 9 EMA. And then you can kind of just throw some darts at some other stuff. But really focus in on some of these other names, some non-fang banger, Magnificent 7 names, because I think there's going to be some heat in these kind of $20, $30, $40, $80 kind of names. Everybody's been so caught up in SMCI and NVIDIA that they've forgotten that there's, there are some other stocks that we can trade, and we got some good looks on these. So let's go and do what we got to do. I love you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Peace.